At Summers
with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And boy, is fall in the air this morning. It's chilly out there.
Yeah, on this October 1st, we're starting out with some pretty cold temperatures, Gary. Let's take a look at some of them right now. We begin this morning in the 40s, and not even 40s, low 40s in the Mohawk Valley, which probably just feels like the upper 30s at this point. It is a very crisp start to your day. 39 Watertown, 36 in Hamilton, 28 degrees in Saranac Lake. In fact, let's zoom in even farther here. 36 Otter Lake, 36 in Long Lake, 38 Washington Mills, 53 in Westernville, 46 in Silver Beach. I believe Westernville might be a little bit skewed there on that data set here. 36 Hamilton, 49 in Cooperstown. And a live look at downtown Utica. It is a quiet morning, a clear morning out there, with temperatures again slowly climbing this afternoon from the 30s and 40s up into the 60s. So no 70-degree day today like we saw earlier this week, but a little bit of a cool down. But we're going to see a warm-up continue as we head into the end of the week. We'll have that plus a preview of October, how things shape up usually in terms of temperatures, daylights, and how much daylight we're losing. All that in that full forecast. Gary?
Eric, thanks. New this morning with no deal in hand.
Welcome back, everybody, on this Wednesday. Happy October 1st. September flew by. Here we are on the downward slide of 2025. If you take a look at what's going on outside, first off, a live view of the arterial this morning. Still, it's a quiet start, obviously, since it's early out there, early today, but it is a very chilly one this morning, and there could be even cooler weather looking ahead into tonight and into tomorrow. Either way, traffic trackers showing green across the board. No accidents to report of early this morning. In fact, barely any impacts in terms of fog. We have plenty of sunshine this morning. Temperatures peaking initially in the 40s and 30s this morning. We're going to climb, though, into the 60s this afternoon. Not nearly as hot as the past few days as a moisture-starved cold front has moved through our area. But we're going to track what we can expect throughout the remainder of the week here. Again, an update on the tropics, and on top of that, how October usually trends here in central New York in terms of daylight, temperature, and all that coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. 5 beachfront homes in North Carolina.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everybody. Chilly October 1st out there early today. Does quite feel like a changing season, especially as you walk outside. Downtown Utica, we've got clear skies. I'm looking at the latest imagery. There is barely any fog to report, maybe an isolated location in the Mohawk Valley. But besides that, it is still a very dry air mass over us right now. Temperature 42, dew point 38, calm winds. Overall, pretty quiet and chilly start to your day today. So again, it's October 1st. Let's talk about what's going to be changing on average for the month of October. Our average high this time of year, 64 degrees, our average low 45. By the end of the month, our average high will be around 52, our average low around 36. Now, how about sunrise and sunset times? Well, today, our sunrise is 6:58 in the morning, near 7 a.m., sunset at 6:41. As we head into the end of October, our sunrise will be 7:35 in the morning, and sunset at 5:53. So we do get some daylight saving time on the way next month. For now, though, it's still going to be a late sunrise and an early pre-5 p.m. sunset by the end of the month. Overall, yes, we do lose an hour and 23 minutes of daylight, which is one of the fastest rates we'll see all year long. Going forward, that rate will decrease, and we'll, of course, see it increase in only a couple of months again. The latest on the tropics right now, matter of fact, not even tropics, in the Atlantic. Imelda, Category 1 hurricane. Umberto, Category 1 hurricane as well. Both of them are heading out to sea. This one is going to fall apart. Still an organized structure of low pressure as a Category 2 Imelda heading out to the mid-Atlantic over the next couple of days. Again, neither of these are going to directly hit our area or even affect it by any means. Still, though, plenty of sun here across the area. Temperatures in the 60s tonight. There's potential for frost. You see here, frost advisories in effect for the areas in darker blue here, lighter, almost turquoise here, or not even turquoise, but still the lighter blues here in northern Oneida County, Lewis County, and Otsego County. Freeze warnings. That means those are the spots where temperatures are likely to fall below 32 degrees. Frost advisory around or above 32. So you can see the highest chances here in the purple area, but still it is going to be an incredibly cold morning tomorrow morning. Today, though, temperatures are in the 60s. Plenty of sunshine, that north wind at play here today. Tonight, lows again will fall into the 30s and 20s in some spots. Your 7-day forecast, we continue to see lots of sunshine over the next several days this coming weekend. Well above average for October standards, upper 70s near 80 degrees, plenty of sun. We do have a rainfall icon on our 7-day on Tuesday. We have some chances for rain next week. Still, though, for the short term, it is remaining incredibly dry and incredibly sunny.
Next Tuesday night, watch out.
Yeah, finally hit our first rain chance in a while.
Eric, thanks. The time right now is 5:23, and thank you for joining us for this half hour. I'm Gary Libertor. If you are going to be waiting outside at the bus stop this morning, bundle up. Eric, it is chilly out there.
Yeah, temperatures this morning starting out in the 30s, some spots even 20s.
Oh, wow.
It is very crispy. Let's take a look, though, at what's going on tomorrow night. The highest impact weather event going on in the next few days, a frost advisory and freeze warnings. Take a look at locations here. So again, in the dark blue zones right here in the lower elevations, it is a frost advisory. It means there's a likelihood that the temperatures tonight into tomorrow are going to fall into the mid to low 30s, maybe not quite hitting 32 degrees or lower. The freeze warning means that those are locations where they're likely going to fall below 32 degrees. So one of those nights where you want to bring in those plants or sensitive plants, cover them. I would recommend just bringing them inside, especially as we exit the growing season and our first full widespread frost advisories in parts of the area right now. Temperatures to start your day: 42 Rome, 28 in Saranac Lake, 46 Johnstown, and 36 in Hamilton. It's a quiet morning, aside from the fact that it is very cold out there, and we'll continue to see lots of sunshine. Temperatures peaking in the 60s this afternoon. Again, we're going to do a deep dive more into the frost chances, as well as how October's trending, and of course, as always, our photo of the day coming up in a few minutes. Gary.
Eric, thanks. The federal government is officially shut down.
2 is brought to you by Holland Farms Bakery and Deli.
This live look of downtown Cooperstown is brought to you by the Leatherstocking Credit Union.
Welcome back to Sunrise on this October 1st. Now today, or I should say last night, even the night before, we were treated to some surprise Northern Lights viewing. And this is a photo right here sent in to us from Lee of the Northern Lights in the background here, taken by Michael. Shout out to those of you watching from Lee across the Lee area this morning. And just a great shot right there of the Northern Lights out in the distance. If you have a photo like this you'd like to share with us, fall colors, night sky, you name it, send it to WKTV.com/weather/pics for the chance of your photo featured right here on News Channel 2 at sunrise. Now again, it is a cold morning out there. We begin in the 30s and 40s, some spots in the Adirondacks already in the 20s, but this afternoon we're in the 60s, lots of sun. We're going to talk about what we can expect throughout much of October coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Volunteers are needed for Wildlife Day.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everybody. On this October 1st, we begin today with some cold temperatures in the 40s, some spots even in the 30s and 20s. A live look at downtown Utica. Clear morning out there, not a whole lot of fog to report, which is an outlier to what's been a very foggy stretch of weather to start the mornings here, especially in parts of central New York. 42 degrees officially at Griffith Rome, calm winds, dew point of 38 degrees. So it is a very dry air currently over central New York right now. As we enter October, here's a few things that will be changing as we progress throughout the month. First off, let's talk temperature. Today's average high, 64 degrees, or average low on 45 degrees as we progress throughout the end of the month. Halloween, average high 52, average low 36. So we're going to see those temperatures drop about 12 degrees on average, especially for daytime highs. As we look at daylight, in terms of sunrise and sunset time, sunrise 6:58, sunset 6:41. As we head into the end of the month, sunrise 7:35 in the morning. So it's a very late sunrise followed by a pre-6 p.m. sunset. So it's going to be quite a difference here heading into the end of the month. And again, we're losing around an hour and 23 minutes of daylight. This is about the most we lose in a month before we really start to slow down that daylight loss, and then begin to gain it again, of course, as we head into the end of December and beyond. The latest tropical update along the Atlantic coast here. Great news for us here in central New York. Again, there's nothing implying any direct impacts. Both of these systems, Imelda and Umberto, head out to sea. Still Imelda remaining as a Category 2. Umberto already fizzling out as a post-tropical depression and eventually getting absorbed with Imelda. So when it comes to any impacts here locally, none to report. In fact, plenty of sun today with temperatures peaking in the 60s. Notice here in Northwind, that's going to be driving some cooler temperatures tonight. In fact, we have some frost advisories in effect for a lot of the Mohawk Valley, including Madison and Chenango counties, and a freeze warning for the areas in light blue here, including Otsego, Schoharie, Northern Onetta, and Lewis counties, due to some of those temperatures in the light blue falling below freezing, 32 degrees or below, and then the Mohawk Valley between 36 and 32 degrees, the rough temperature trend here. But besides that, there's really nothing else to mention when it comes to any impactful weather. The sun will be shining. Temperatures will be peaking in the mid-60s today. Again, it's going to be cool tonight. Lows in the 40s and 30s. Some spots again in the 20s in the Adirondacks. And then by Thursday, a few passing high-level clouds, 60s, quiet weather. As that continues into the end of the week, we warm up a little bit. By the weekend, by the way, this is looking like a very nice weekend by October standards. Upper 70s, low 80s. Of course, as we progress throughout the season, it gets harder and harder to hit 80-plus degrees. So for now, I mean, I don't want to say this because the last time we hit 80 degrees as we had to Sunday, but probably one of the last times of the year we'll see those warmer temperatures. Yes, it remains above average, but still, eventually the cold air will win out. Yeah. So we're going to enjoy the nice warm weather we have.
That's for sure, Eric. Thanks. After 162 games.
With Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us here on this Wednesday morning. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And the bus stop forecast is a chilly one this morning.
Yeah, welcome to October. It feels definitely like October out there today. We begin with a look at those temperatures, and yes, it is downright chilly. We are in the 30s and 40s in a lot of locations here. Let's start out in the general idea of upstate New York. 36 in Hamilton, 40 in Rome, 29 in Saranac Lake, even 37 up in Watertown. So even a lot of locations on the cold side. The warmest spot, Rochester, at 53 degrees due to that lake breeze, keeping those temperatures on the warm side on the south shore of Lake Ontario. Here locally, we have no body of water to cool things, or at least warm things up, so it's on the colder side. 37 Dolgeville, 31 degrees in Indian Lake, 37 Washington Mills, and 37 degrees in Westmoreland. To the south, it's 41 Richfield Springs, 39 Norwich, and 43 degrees in Oneonta. Live view of downtown Utica. It is clear out there, not a whole lot of fog to report, not even in Oneonta. Usually you see some of that fog forming down there, but either way, Frost advisories are in effect. This is not for tonight, by the way. This is for tomorrow night. We are starting to exit the growing season, if not already exited, but either way, still frost advisories in the areas in dark blue here, light blue freeze warning. The difference, freeze warnings means that those temperatures are likely to fall below freezing. Frost advisory, temperatures are likely to fall near freezing. So just a heads up, bring those sensitive plants indoors today, but you still have plenty of time to do it. Temperatures are going to be peaking in the mid-60s this afternoon. We're going to talk a bit more about that frost and have the latest on the temperature trend as we head throughout pretty much all of October coming up in that full forecast. Gary?
Eric, thanks. We start this hour with a look at a serious crash.
This live look of downtown Cooperstown is brought to you by the Leatherstocking Credit Union.
Welcome back to Sunrise on this October 1st. We begin this month with a cold start. Temperatures in the 30s and 40s, some spots even 20s. Either way, it's a dry morning out there. A live look at the arterial where traffic's starting to pick up right now. Still, though, we've got no travel impacts to expect this morning. Green across the board on the traffic tracker. And as we head throughout the morning today, we begin with temperatures in the 30s and 20s. Still plenty of sunshine despite the cold weather. This afternoon, well, it's going to be warming up into the 60s. Not quite as warm as the past few days, but either way, very pleasant afternoon nonetheless. So today, it's quiet, it's dry, it's sunny. Tonight, though, there are freeze warnings and frost advisories in effect. We're going to go into the details of what locations could see them, as well as following that, what we can expect as we head throughout the week, and a preview of what October usually brings us in terms of temperatures, and of course, as always, the daylight in that full forecast. Gary?
Eric, thanks. 5 beachfront homes in North Carolina.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everybody. Happy October 1st. The month already over for September, and as we enter October, we'll do a dive into what we can expect throughout the month. First off, a live look outside. It is a sunny morning out there. Well, actually, I should say clear morning. The sun is fast approaching off the eastern horizon here. 40 degrees, clear skies, southeast wind right now, but we're going to see that north wind begin to strengthen as we progress throughout the day today. And again, as we enter October, some more notable things to change. First off, when it comes to temperature, today our average high is 64 degrees, so we're going to be more or less average today. Tonight's overnight low usually is around 45 degrees. By Halloween, our average high is 52, so we drop about 12 degrees on average, and our average low of 36. So that's the changes throughout the month temperature-wise. When it comes to daylight, here's a look at the changing sunrise and sunset times. Today, our sunrise 6:58, sunset 6:41. By the end of the month, 7:35 the sunrise, after 7:30, and a pre-6 p.m. sunset at 5:53. So we do lose around an hour and 23 minutes of daylight. So yes, it's quite a lot we lose this month. But following that, we're going to start to see the daylight, yes, still lower, but not nearly as fast as we progress throughout November and December. Eventually, of course, we'll see those the daylight begin to rise again. So when it comes to the latest on the tropical systems in the Atlantic, good news for us here locally. Both Imelda and Umberto are going to head out to sea. Umberto is going to fall apart as a post-tropical depression. Category 2 for Imelda, absorbing Umberto, and then, of course, again, remaining out to sea. So when it comes to impacts today, again, we're not going to see anything in the form of clouds, even rainfall from these systems. Plenty of sun, temperatures in the 60s. Now, with this north wind arriving tonight, overnight lows are going to fall into the 30s, some spots even 20s. You can see here the light blue areas in parts of Lewis and northern Oneida counties, as well as Otsego County. Some spots could see below 32 degrees. That's where those freeze warnings are in effect. Still a widespread frost advisory for most lower elevations, as temperatures could fall as close as 32 degrees mainly mid to low 30s for the most part. So definitely a night you want to bring in those plants. If you're wondering why there's nothing for Herkimer or Hamilton counties up north, it's due to the fact that we're already freeze advisories or freeze warnings in effect. Of course, those locations usually see frost before any other spots. So your 7-day forecast, plenty of sunshine over the next few days, warming up slowly too. By the weekend, it's going to be very pleasant. Temperatures in the upper 70s, pushing 80 degrees by Sunday. So we have quite a warm stretch, well above average for this time of year. Again, our normal high sits at around 64 degrees for the start of the month. So pretty nice weather today. So if today's your birthday, enjoy it. Here's the list.
Hey everyone, and thank you for joining us once again for this half hour. I'm Gary Liberatore. Again, if you're heading out to the bus stop, dress your kids warm and dress yourself warm. Eric, it is chilly out there this morning.
Yes, no doubt about it. Bundle up when you head out to the bus stop. It is chilly temperatures. When you take a look around the area, in the 40s and 30s, some spots down into the 20s in the Adirondacks. You can see here 40 in Rome, 43 Johnstown, 36 in Hamilton right now. We zoom in even farther, 34 Otter Lake, 36 in Dolgeville, 37 Washington Mills, and below freezing at 30 degrees in Indian Lake. To the south, 43 Cooperstown and in Oneonta, and 36 degrees in Sherburne. So it is a cold morning out there. A dry morning, however. We take a live look in downtown Utica. Blue skies, quiet conditions overall. Not too bad of a start today. Again, just bundle up a little bit. And although today is cool, at least this morning is cool, tonight will be even colder. We have frost advisories and freeze warnings in effect for some locations. I'll do a deep dive on this map coming up in a few minutes. But still, today, temperatures starting out in the 30s, climbing into the mid-60s this afternoon. As we enter October on the cooler side, we're actually going to do more of a deep dive throughout October, what we can see in terms of temperatures as well as daylight, as well as look at if any rainfall is even in the forecast as we look ahead to the end of the week and the weekend straight ahead. Gary?
Eric, thanks. The federal government is officially...
This live look of downtown Cooperstown is brought to you by the Leatherstocking Credit Union.
Welcome back to Sunrise, everybody, on this October 1st. Our photo of the day today to start out the month of October takes us to the town of Lee. Shout out to those of you watching from Lee this morning. This is a photo taken of the Northern Lights. It's been quite a surprise the past couple of days with a sudden surge of atmospheric activity here, solar activity I should say, taken by Michael, again from the town of Lee. So amazing photo right here of the faint Northern Lights hue. This is what you usually see with your naked eye. If you use cameras at longer exposure, you get a lot more vibrant vibrant colors. But I wanted to use this photo to give you an idea of just what it might look like in the night sky to the naked eye. So if you have a photo like this you'd like to share with us, send it to WKTV.com/weather/pics. You have a lot of great submissions, fall colors, even night sky pictures too. You can view them yourself or even, again, submit your own. Now today it's a cold morning. Temperatures are in the 30s, 40s, some spots even 20s. But this afternoon we warm up. We'll see plenty of sun. But will we see any changes in the forecast in terms of any cooler weather or warmer weather on the horizon? Full details on that coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Federal prosecutors in New York City are seeking...
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everybody. Time now is 6:48, almost 6:49 on this October 1st. Welcome to October. Today we begin on the colder side, though. Take a live look at downtown Utica. We've got some clearing taking place, some fog trying to form in the Mohawk Valley. But either way, it's clear. Temperature 40 degrees, refreshing humidity, dew point of 36. We've got some pretty dry air in place here right now. So while we are entering October, here's a look at some of the changing conditions throughout October. First off, most importantly, temperature. Our normal high today at 64, our normal low 45. As we enter the end of the month for Halloween, our average high goes down to 52, dropping 12 degrees, 36 the average low. When it comes to daylight time, here's also a more notable difference here between today's sunrise at 6:58 and the sunset at 6:41. By the end of the month, our sunrise will be after 7:30 and our sunset will be before 6 o'clock. So we are seeing a huge change in that daylight. In fact, we're losing an hour and 23 minutes of daylight throughout the entire month. So yes, it might seem like bad news, but I mean, we are entering the fall season. We're seeing those changing temperatures. But when it comes to any notable changes in terms of high temperatures, at least this week, not really seeing a lot of big differences. We have temperatures in the 60s today. In fact, later on this week, warming up even more. So look at the tropical tracker right now. We have two of those systems, Umberto and Imelda. Both of them are heading out to the Atlantic. In fact, Umberto is actually going to weaken and then eventually fall apart and get absorbed by Imelda, which will then be a Category 2. Again, heading out to sea, there will be no impacts in terms of clouds, in terms of rain, or anything like that here locally. But the more notable impact we will be seeing here in central New York, especially tonight, we have frost advisories in effect for all those areas in dark blue, impacting Fulton, Montgomery, southern Herkimer, southern Oneida, Madison, and Shenango counties. Otsego County, northern Oneida, and Lewis counties, you've got freeze warnings in effect. What's the difference? Well, freeze warnings mean that those temperatures are likely going to fall below freezing, below 32 degrees. But as you head into the Mohawk Valley, we're thinking mid to low 30s, maybe not quite reaching 32, but still, you don't need to exactly hit 32 to see some frost. So patchy frost possible in the valley, widespread frost in the areas in light blue. Today, again, we're tracking lots of sunshine, not a whole lot of weather to talk about for the next few days. That north wind really kicking in, producing that cooler temperature tonight and a cooler temperature tomorrow. But by the end of the week, we're going to see those conditions warm up a little bit into the 70s by Saturday, upper 70s, I should say, by Saturday, low 80s by Sunday. Lots of sun. Again, beautiful weekend on tap for your first weekend of October. You have any plans, maybe going apple picking, going pumpkin picking, or anything picking for the harvest season? Of course, it's looking very nice weather-wise for that.
Yeah, another great weekend.
Get out and enjoy it. Last week, I was at some orchards. Great weather for that, too.
Yeah.
Great weather this weekend.
Eric, thanks. After 160, Eric Gage joining us now. And Eric, another very sunny day across the Mohawk Valley.
Yeah, you won't believe it's already heading into October and the sun is shining. And yeah, it's a little cooler today, but we got some warmer days ahead as well. Let's take a look at what's going on outside from our tower cam. Beautiful scenery here of the Mohawk Valley right now. And yes, it was a chilly morning, but temperatures have quickly climbed into the 60s. 62 in Rome. Still in the 50s, though, in Hamilton, 54 Saranac Lake. Don't expect a very warm day today, so I guess you can say that this is a taste of what's to come. But as we approach the end of the week, there will be warmer days ahead. In the meantime, as a heads up, if you have any sensitive plants, bring them inside tonight. Overnight lows are expected to fall near or below freezing. In the areas in dark blue, near freezing. In the areas in light blue on the map here, below freezing. So it gives you paints a picture here of where those higher elevations are. If you're wondering why Hamilton County and northern Herkimer County aren't included in the freeze warning, they already had one earlier in the season. And so whenever you get the first freeze warning, no more follow. That's the basic rules of these frost advisories and freeze warnings. So today's high temperatures will be in the mid-60s with plenty of sunshine. Again, tonight it's clear, potentially frosty. As we head throughout the rest of the week, we'll see those temperatures climb again. But is there any changes in the near future, or will this warm stretch last to the end of the year? We have the full details on that coming up in a few minutes. Gary.
Eric, thanks. With no deal in
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon, everybody. Lots of sunshine across central New York today. Overall, beautiful start to October, although a little cooler. Here's a live look at Oneonta. Shout out to Curtis Lumber for our new sponsor of our Oneonta camera. You can see here plenty of blue skies. There's some gray mixing in here in some of the hills. And that's been the story so far this fall. It's been so incredibly dry. We got a mix of green, some gray, and some dull colors. That's pretty much the story of fall of 2025. Now, what can we expect throughout October? So, to start, our average high today sits around 64 degrees. So today, right around average. Overnight lows tonight, on average, around 45 degrees. We're going to be going lower than that tonight. By the end of the month, our average high sits at 52 degrees, average low 36. So that's that temperature change of around 12 degrees for the daytime highs. The more notable change, however, is the daylight. Our sunrise today was a little before 7 a.m. Our sunset at 6:41. By the end of the month, 7:35 sunrise and a sunset a little bit before 6 p.m. So we've got quite a change here. In fact, we lose about an hour and 23 minutes of daylight, which, yes, it's a lot, but this is about as much as we lose in a month all year long. As we progress toward November and December, that rate will decrease. High pressures in control here in central New York, keeping our weather sunny and quiet. To the Atlantic coast right here, some updates. So Umberto is now a post-tropical depression. It is weaker than Imelda, which is now a Category 2. It will remain a Category 2 and then weaken into a post-tropical depression. Eventually, Umberto will actually absorb with Imelda and then eventually forming into a post-tropical depression itself. Either way, all this activity is outside of the mainland U.S. We're not going to see any impacts here along the East Coast, especially here in central New York. The only impacts really focused on in the short term, again, frost advisories in effect for the areas in dark blue, impacting the Mohawk Valley with freeze warnings in effect for northern Onetta, Lewis County, and Otsego County, with some of those temperatures likely falling below 32 degrees. As you can see here, main locations would be valley spots in the southern valleys. You can see right here, right along the Route 12 and Route 8 corridor heading south, as well as Route 28 over here near Cooperstown. And then some higher elevations as you head up into the Adirondacks near Old Forge, Hamilton County, and of course, Lewis County as well. So besides the frost, really not a whole lot to talk about here in the Skycast. Lots of sunshine, temperatures tonight a little chilly, warming back up again to the 70s, or should say, excuse me, 60s by tomorrow afternoon, and then heading into the 70s as we approach the end of the week and into the weekend. So Saturday and Sunday, upper 70s, low 80s. I'm going to say this right here. Enjoy this weekend. I've been doing some deep diving into the pattern as we look ahead to next week, and there could be a few more chances for some cooler weather mixing in as we approach the 8th, the 9th next week, and even beyond that. It's not ruling out warm weather entirely, but we're going to say likely goodbye to a lot of this extended stretch of warmth and sunshine. So pattern shift is slowly approaching. Just got to give it about a week or so.
Change is a-coming.
Here we come into middle October.
Eric, thanks. Well, now to the chaos being caused by Umberto and Imelda, the twin hurricanes, thankfully staying offshore, but churning up destructive surf along the East Coast that swallowed up some homes. NBC's Jesse Kirsch has more.
This dramatic video from North Carolina's Outer Banks. Beachfront homes reduced to rubble. Churning surf from hurricanes Imelda and Umberto causing at least 5 houses to collapse on this barrier island. Fortunately, all of them were unoccupied at the time. Although the twin storms won't make U.S. landfall, they continue wreaking havoc in the Atlantic Ocean, producing dangerous waves and rip currents along the East Coast. Communities from Florida to the Carolinas had been preparing for the worst.
The storm way off the coast can still bring those rip currents and those strong tides and really affect our beach system and our dune system.
As the hurricanes track toward Bermuda, officials are warning that more beachfront structures are in danger of collapse. The 5 homes lost Tuesday are just the latest to disappear along the North Carolina shore. 17 homes have crumbled into the ocean since 2020. This morning, officials cleaning up debris and urging caution as even more dangerous swells are expected in the days ahead.
NBC's now, and yes, another gorgeous day in the Mohawk Valley. What's going on?
Yeah, lots of quiet weather, Gary. High pressure's in place here right now. We have blue skies. It is a little cooler out compared to yesterday. We take a look at the current conditions out there live from our tower cam. And as you can see here, plenty of blue skies. There's some foliage trying to peek out here and there, but still some brown moving in and even some gray moving in. Some of these leaves falling as well. A live look at those temperatures here across the upstate New York. We're in the 60s right now, 62 in Rome, 59 in Hamilton, 58 in Johnstown, 54 in Saranac Lake. Zoom in a little bit more here. We got 56 Long Lake, 61 Washington Mills, and 62 degrees in Westmoreland. To the south, we're in the 50s and 60s. Still a cool afternoon. We are expecting, though, in the wake of this cool afternoon, a chilly overnight. In fact, potentially even a frosty overnight. We have a look at some of these frost advisories and freeze warnings in a lot more detail coming up in a few minutes. Just a heads up, if you live in any of these areas, in fact, pretty much all of central New York in general, bring your sensitive plants indoors tonight. Next 12 hours, temperatures will be peaking in the mid-60s. By tonight, we're in the 40s and eventually 30s with clear skies. Now, as we head throughout October, so far it's looking warm to start, but there could be a pattern change in the middle of next week. We'll have the details on that early forecast in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. State Police in Pennsylvania now can.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon. Plenty of sunshine across central New York today. We take a live look outside in Oneonta. Blue skies across the board. Temperatures, though, a little cooler than yesterday. We began in the 30s and 40s. Now today we're going to be climbing into the mid-60s. Either way, we look at what's going on for pretty much all of October. Temperatures on average this time of year in the low 60s to mid-60s. Average low 45 degrees by the end of the month. Our average high dips down to 52. Our average low 36 degrees. So we drop about 12 degrees for our average high throughout the entire month. The big difference comes in terms of the sunlight for daylight in the sunrise and sunset times. You can see here, 6:58 the sunrise today, sunset at 6:41. By the end of the month, 7:35 morning sunrise, and by the sunset time, before 6 p.m. So quite a difference here. We lose about an hour and 23 minutes of daylight. But this is about as fast as we lose it. As we head throughout November and December, obviously the daylight, although we're still losing more, will be at a much slower rate. High pressure keeping things quiet here across the Northeast. In the meantime, the activity along the Atlantic coast starting to fizzle out a little bit. Umberto is now no longer a hurricane. It's a post-tropical depression. Meantime, Imelda is now actually stronger than Umberto as a Category 2 hurricane. That is going to absorb Umberto right here and then fizzle out itself into a post-tropical depression here. So all this heading out to sea, not impacting any of us here in central New York. But what will be impacting us, some potential for frost. We have frost advisories in effect for a lot of the Mohawk Valley in the lower elevations. Higher elevations, especially up in the Tug Hill area in Hamilton, or Lewis County, excuse me, northern Oneida County and Otsego counties, those temperatures likely falling below freezing, near freezing in the Mohawk Valley, by the way. And you can see here, valley locations down south, the Route 8 corridor, Route 12 corridor, both locations seeing the highest chance for frost, as well as heading down into Route 28 near Cooperstown there too. But either way, as you head into the higher elevations up north here, you got some more spots in Hamilton County. Still, those locations already saw a freeze warning, so they're not going to see any more this season. Our Skycast really not showing a whole lot of activity. Temperatures in the 60s this afternoon, into the 30s tonight, and then following that, we're back into the 60s tomorrow, 70s as we head into Thursday, or excuse me, Friday. Then by the weekend, upper 70s Saturday, low 80s Sunday, lots of sunshine, a beautiful weekend on tap. A potential pattern change arriving next week, but for now, it's looking mainly quiet, lots of sun. Enjoy it as we enter our first full week of October. Gary?
Eric, thanks. We are back with News Talk. Our guest today is Mary McEnroe, Vice President of the New...
First look at the forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis. Gorgeous day out there, but guess what we're getting ready for?
Yeah, we're getting ready for a frost tonight across central New York. Let me show you this map here. You know, sometimes these maps can be a little confusing. Bottom line is you're going to want to cover your plants regardless of where you live because, for example, Northern Herkimer, Hamilton County, these are not in any advisories because the National Weather Service has deemed the growing season over, so they don't issue freeze warnings, even though these areas will be below freezing tonight. Again, bottom line is most of us will be in the mid-30s. Protect your plants. We can extend the growing season. We've got some warm weather ahead, but again, you're going to want to take some action tonight because I think just about most areas will be in the 30s here. Even if you don't drop to 32 degrees, it could still cause some issues with sensitive vegetation. 66 degrees, sunny skies, it's beautiful out there, but the really, really dry air is going to allow temperatures to tumble as we head into tonight. Live look at the Yorkville Battery, Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Sunny days continue, warmer weather ahead. We are tracking some rain, finally, on the horizon. We've got to wait until early next week, though. Sunshine this evening, temperatures in the 60s, tracking a chilly night ahead. Look at the forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. The federal government is...
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. An absolutely beautiful day across central New York, noticeably cooler compared to yesterday, and that's because we've got high pressure that's rolled in and we're in the wake of a cold front. This is a live look in downtown Utica, and again, bright blue sunny skies will continue as we head into this evening. We will be holding on to clear skies tonight, and that's going to allow for temperatures to drop. We'll get down into the 30s in many areas. I think this is a widespread frost outside of the Mohawk Valley. 35 in Utica, Remsen down to 30, Boonville 29. This is the forecasted overnight low temperatures. Old Forge 27, Middleville 32. Across the southern valleys, we're in the mid-30s in many areas. Cooperstown 34, Herkimer 36, New Hartford down to 36 degrees. It's a good idea to bring in plants that you want to keep that are sensitive to frost or cover them up. You can extend the growing season a little bit longer. We've got some warm weather ahead. This is the only night of frost for the most part here throughout the rest of the week. Last night we were treated to the Northern Lights. This was right outside the parking lot, right outside the studios. It's from our parking lot on WKTV in Deerfield. This was 8:30. We had a beautiful shot here. This was taken with the camera, so that does enhance the color and enhances the light. But we were able to see this with the naked eye too. It was just very dim. There is the chance that the Northern Lights could show up right after sunset this evening. It's a small chance, but there seems to be a lot of solar activity lately. So if you're into this, I would encourage you to check it out. Skies are looking clear too, so that's not going to be an issue. October's changing weather. We've made it to October 1st. And believe it or not, today's high temperature in the mid-60s is much more typical of early October. We've been running so warm lately. By the end of the month, the average high goes down to 52, and the average low goes down to 36. We lose an hour and 23 minutes of daylight from the beginning to the end of the month. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. All is quiet. Temperatures are in the mid-60s this evening. Plenty of sunshine. High pressure continues to drive our weather. It's going to keep us dry across central New York. It's also going to keep these hurricanes from impacting the East Coast. Imelda still out there as a Category 2 storm, again heading out to sea. Storm Tracker 2 Skycast, clear skies tonight. Overnight lows drop down into the 30s. Tomorrow, sunny skies, just a couple of high clouds from time to time. Beautiful day. Temperatures climb into the mid-60s. Clear tomorrow night. We're down into the upper 30s, so frost a lot less widespread. And then on Friday, it warms up. We're looking at high temperatures in the low 70s, a lovely early October day. Patchy frost tonight down to 33. Tomorrow, sunshine, 65. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. The weather looks to warm up. Saturday, 79. Sunday, 82. Monday, 82 degrees. That is way above average for October. Some rain chances ahead Tuesday and Wednesday with some cooler weather as well. Coming up in a few minutes, I've got the latest fall foliage from myself, taking some pictures of Old Forge today. Show you what it looks like.
Ooh, looking forward to that. All right, thank you, Bill. Now to the meteorologist, Bill Cardis. You had a chance to get out and hike today.
I did. This is Bald Mountain, and this is the unedited version of this. I know when folks share pictures, sometimes the filters can make the leaves look brighter than they actually are. This is what it looked like today. It still looks pretty. The skies are blue, but I can tell you, it does look more muted this year compared to years past. Also, another thing, I would not recommend hiking this on a weekend, Bald Mountain specifically. It was really busy even today on a Wednesday. I found one of the last parking spots. Unless you go really early or later in the evening, you're not going to be able to find a parking spot on Bald Mountain. There's a lot of other places to go hiking too, thankfully, in the Adirondacks. So I would definitely do some homework if you're planning on going up this weekend. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. It's looking beautiful, nice and dry, and we're going to see cool temperatures tonight. We'll get down to the 30s, but there will be a noticeable warming trend over the next several days. We're back into the low 80s by Sunday and Monday. If you're taking the dog out for a walk this evening, it does cool off. Temperatures will drop into the 50s after sunset. Today's featured dog, Stella from Lee. If you want to be part of this, head to Facebook. You can drop your dog photos on Skycast WKTV. This is brought to you by Nissan. Jason, back to you.
All right, Bill, thank you. It's national.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis.
Good evening. A beautiful day across central New York. Lots of sunshine continues this evening. This is a live look in Oneonta. 61 degrees, clear skies in place. We are going to cool off tonight. In fact, we're asking folks that we're asking gardeners if you have anything that's sensitive to frost, you're going to have to bring it inside tonight or cover it up if you want to extend the growing season, because we're expecting a region-wide frost. The only places that might not get frost would be the lowest elevations of the Mohawk Valley. But again, most of us do get a frost tonight. Middleville 32, Remsen 30, Utica 35, Camden 30. Even if temperatures don't hit 32 degrees, if they're 33, 34, 35 degrees, there could still be some patchy frost on the ground. New Hartford down to 36, Richfield Springs 33, Oneonta 35, Canajoharie 36 degrees. Wanted to show you this on my way up to Bald Mountain. Ran into some friends crossing the road. This is an Old Forge, and this is just a reminder the deer are out. They're pretty active really any time of the year, even in the middle of the day. October's changing weather. Wanted to look at some of the records for the month of October. The warmest it's ever been, at least measured, 89 degrees in 1941. The lowest, 17 degrees, 1969. Record rainfall, we remember this year, 2019, that's when we had the Halloween floods. Over 10 inches of rain at Griffiths and Rome. And the record snowfall, 4 inches in 1987. That's, of course, for the lower elevations. The higher elevations can get snow and actually have gotten more than 4 inches of snow in the month of October. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Things are looking quiet. Skywatchers checking in the 60s. Whitesboro 68 degrees. Barneveld 64. Norway 65, Curtis 66. Worcester with 67 degrees, Skenevis 68. Bigger picture shows high pressure in control of our weather. A cold front came through yesterday. It's going to push both of these hurricanes out to sea, and our weather's going to stay dry. Clear skies tonight. You're not expecting a widespread frost with overnight lows in the 30s. Plenty of sunshine tomorrow. Another comfortable day with temperatures in the mid-60s. This is more typical early October weather, although it feels a lot cooler compared to lately. The winds turn into the south, and that's going to bring warmer temperatures back to central New York. Unseasonably warm temperatures by the weekend. On Friday, we'll make a nice run into the low 70s, a very comfortable afternoon. Patchy frost tonight down to 33. Sunshine tomorrow, 65. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Sunshine Friday, 73. We're up to 79 Saturday, and then into the low 80s. Back to more summer-like temperatures Sunday and Monday. Some rain chances finally in the extended forecast out towards Tuesday and Wednesday with cooler temperatures. We'll be right back.
the forecast at 6 with Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis.
It's a beautiful day today, but it is going to be a cold night tonight. Cold enough for widespread frost. All of central New York under frost advisories or freeze warnings. The only exception, northern Herkimer and Hamilton County. And that's because the Weather Service stops issuing freeze warnings after September 30th, at least for these specific areas. They consider the growing season over for those spots. But bottom line is, cover your sensitive plants tonight before going to bed if you want to keep them around. We can extend the growing season. We've got some nice weather ahead. Current temperature is 63 degrees. It's cooling off fast. The number here is the dew point, 38. The air is really dry, and that is why we're going to cool off so much tonight. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Clear skies ahead. Sunny days continue. We've got some warmer weather on the horizon. It's going to feel a lot more summer-like by the start of next week. We do also have some rain to talk about in the extended outlook. Sunshine temperatures in the 60s this evening. We cool off tonight. We're tracking some lovely weather ahead. Look at the forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. Watching very close.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis.
Good evening. A beautiful day today. Temperatures made it into the mid-60s. It's going to be chilly tonight. You're going to want to cover your sensitive plants or bring them inside if you want to extend the growing season, because most of us will be seeing a frost. It's live looking downtown Utica. You can also spot the moon in this picture. Really hard to see right there. It should be a lovely evening tonight, but again, it's going to be chilly. This is a look at overnight lows. Forecasted temperatures by tomorrow morning. Remsen 30, Utica 35, Camden 30, Old Forge 27, so a hard frost to the north. Herkimer down to 36, Oneonta 35, Morris 33. Even if temperatures stay above freezing in your spot, if it gets down to about 33, 34, 35 degrees, there could still be patchy frost that forms, even if temperatures are just above freezing. Take a look at this photo. This is from Diane Munson, Arnold Lake near Milford. Got a chance to see the northern lights last night. We saw some cool photos, some pillars. You even saw them from here on Smith Hill. There is a little bit of activity today in the atmosphere, the solar activity. This might translate into more northern lights early this evening, but the jury's still out. If you really are looking forward to this and you want to see this, I would recommend trying when it gets dark, which is about 8 o'clock when it gets dark enough to see this. By the way, this picture is using night mode on the camera. It's capturing a little bit more light than you would see with the naked eye. October's changing weather. The average high today, 64. By the end of the month, it's down to 52, and our average low goes from 45 to 36. We also lose an hour and 23 minutes of daylight throughout the month of October. Things change very quickly. We also see a dramatic change in terms of cloud cover. It goes from sunny to very cloudy by the end of the month, typically. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. It's dry. Temperatures from our sky watchers in the 60s. Bob and Clinton 66, Barneveld 64, Inlet 60 degrees, Cooperstown with 63. High pressure and control of our weather will also push the hurricanes out in the Atlantic out to sea. Not going to be expecting an issue with either Umberto or Imelda here in central New York. We're clear tonight. Overnight lows drop down into the 30s. A chilly start to Thursday. Looks like a mostly sunny afternoon. Pleasant, as warm as today with temperatures in the mid-60s. We're not quite as cold tomorrow night. We briefly drop into the low 40s to upper 30s. And Friday does look warmer. Temperatures climb into the 70s. It's like a beautiful night for high school football, too. Patchy frost tonight down to 33. Tomorrow, sunshine, 65. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Noticeably warmer heading into the weekend. 79 Saturday, 82 Sunday, 82 Monday. So some very warm weather ahead. There's also the chance for rain by Tuesday and Wednesday with cooler temperatures. And we certainly could use the rain. At least there's a chance by the middle of next week.
How much has the lack of rain changed the foliage? I mean, you were just up at Bald Mountain. You said it's beautiful. Not as bright as we've seen it in years past.
This is not my expertise, but I noticed that when it's really dry, the leaves tend to be dull. You don't get the really bright colors. They don't pop as much.
Okay.
I think it has to do with the dry weather.
That may not be your expertise, but you're pretty good at it. All right, thanks, Bill. Still to come on news. For first look at the forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis. Big news of the night is, of course, the frost warnings.
Yeah.
And you mentioned this at 5 and 6. This is it's a weather alert that we're doing because there is no technically frost alert, right?
Well, Herkimer, Hamilton, there's nothing on this map. What I don't like about these maps is if you have to explain it, why show it? But I want to go out of my way because I know a lot of people use this information.
Sure.
Northern Herkimer, Hamilton County are not under frost advisories, but they will get frost tonight. On a technicality, the Weather Service stops issuing frost warnings for these areas on October 1st. Not even
really?
It's just one date, and it's different dates for the area.
I didn't know that.
Anyway,
Learn something
plan
new.
on a frost tonight. Also, we are watching the Northern Lights. We've had 2 nights in a row where we've been able to see this. So far, they haven't come out yet, but we're seeing something in the data that's interesting. So we'll keep you posted on that. It might be worth peeking outside in about a half an hour. There might be a glow to the north. Well, I have a look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Things look quiet. Temperature-wise, 50 degrees and falling. Dew point's 35. So we're going to have no problems getting into the 30s tonight. Bring in your plants, the ones that you want to protect and keep safe from the frost. It's not too late to do that. 65 for the high tomorrow, but look at the warm temperatures. We're getting into the low 80s by early next week. Cool enough to close the windows tonight. Some of you may be tempted to turn on the heat by tomorrow morning. It's going to be pretty chilly first thing in the morning. Overnight lows in the low 30s. We're tracking beautiful weather, though. Look at the forecast coming up. James, back to you.
Bill, thank you. Saturday is wild.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We're taking a live look in downtown Utica. It is cooling off tonight. Temperatures have already dropped into the 50s, 40s, and in some cases 30s already, especially in the Adirondacks, and we've got clear skies in place. Tonight, overnight lows have dropped down into the low 30s. Widespread frost is expected. It's not too late to bring in plants that you want to protect. Bring them inside or cover them up. Middleville down to 32, Little Falls 37, Old Forge 27, Remsen down to 30. Across Southern Valleys, looking at a temperature of in Richfield Springs of 33, Cooperstown 34, Oneonta 35, and Morris down to 33. Take a look at this. This was Old Forge earlier today. Got a chance to do some hiking, but before I got to my hiking spot, I had some deer across the road. Just a reminder, they're always active. They could be very active in the evening time. Always be on the lookout for them. Also, too, be on the lookout for the changing weather that we experience in October. Today's high in the mid-60s is actually pretty close to the average for October 1st. By October 31st, by Halloween, the average high goes down to 52. The average low goes from 45 to 36, and we lose 1 hour and 23 minutes of daylight this month. By Halloween, our sunset time is before 6 o'clock, and our sunrise time is after 7:30 in the morning. How about that? Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. It's quiet. Big dome of high pressure in control of our weather. It's going to keep us quiet, and it's also going to keep these hurricanes out to sea. Imelda and Umberto will both move to our east. By the way, Imelda, Category 2 storm, taking aim towards the Bahamas. Storm Tracker 2 Skycast, it's cold tonight, down to the 30s. Beautiful day tomorrow, lots of sunshine. We'll rebound nicely. We'll climb into the mid-60s, so about as warm as it was today. Tomorrow night, clear skies, not quite as cold, but still pretty cold, down into the low 40s to upper 30s. And Friday looks beautiful. Should be nice and warm. Temperatures climb into the low 70s. Great weather yet again for high school football games. It's been a great season so far weather-wise. Patchy frost tonight, down to 33. Sunshine tomorrow, 65. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. The weather warms up. We're 73 Friday, plenty of sunshine. The weekend's looking beautiful. Mostly sunny Saturday, 79. 82 Sunday, plenty of sunshine. Monday, 82. So feeling very summer-like and heading into early next week. Clouds, showers return. So much needed rainfall in the forecast on Tuesday and Wednesday. We'll be right back.
The forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis. Okay,
Yeah,
so
you're
we're
not
going to
gonna
talk
believe this.
frost, but we have to talk about this. This is just minutes ago outside you got this picture.
Third night in a row, spotting the northern lights here on Smith Hill.
You can see the
Couple
pillars
of
there, too.
pillars. This is literally happening now. You've got to have a camera to see this. It's not visible to the naked eye just yet. But wild stuff here. We are talking about cold weather, too. We have a widespread frost expected overnight, so if you're going to go out inside and try and capture the northern lights, just make sure you have something warm on you. Temperatures have already cooled off into the 50s and 40s. It's not too late to bring the plants inside if you want to protect them, because, again, the frost takes place tomorrow morning. It's a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Current temperature 50 degrees, clear skies. Dew points down to 34, so the air is really dry. Will continue to cool off very quickly this evening. Temperatures tomorrow in the 60s, and we're back into the 80s. A big warming trend ahead. And lots of sunshine as well. Tonight, good night to close the windows before going to bed. It is going to be a little chilly in the house if you leave them open. In fact, some of you might be tempted to turn on the heat tomorrow morning. We're going to have overnight lows in the low 30s. We're tracking warmer weather ahead. Look at the forecast coming up. James, back to you.
Bill, thanks. I won't do it.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
We are taking a live look in downtown Utica. The northern lights are out tonight. Just took a bunch of pictures on my phone. I've got a camera, actually, that has the ability to capture light. And, they're out right now. If you look to the north, you're going to look for a very faded glow. A camera is going to be the best bet to be able to see them. We're actually expecting the show to go on, at least for the next half hour. You're going to be heading out dressed nice and warm because it is going to be chilly. We're talking about frost tonight. It's not too late to bring in your plants or cover them up. You're expecting overnight lows in the low 30s, 35 Utica, Remsen 30, Old Forge 27. Across the southern valleys by tomorrow morning, overnight lows. Only out of 35, Morris 33, Norwich 34, Hamilton 35. This was earlier today. On my way to Old Forge, I got a chance to go to Ball Mountain today. I wasn't alone. There were not only a lot of people, but there were also deer crossing the road. And this is just a reminder, just be careful when you're driving. The deer can be very active this time of the year. October's changing weather. The high today in the mid-60s, that's actually typical for early October. By the end of the month, the average high goes down to 52. The average low this time of the year, 45, down to 36 by October 31st, and we lose 1 hour and 23 minutes of daylight. Our sunrise gets as late as 7:30 by October 31st, and the sunset will be before 6 o'clock. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. It's clear. Again, great viewing of the northern lights right now. We're going to hold on to clear skies tonight. High pressure in control. High pressure is also going to bump out Umberto and Imelda. Imelda is a Category 2 storm heading towards Bermuda, but again, away from the East Coast. Tonight, clear skies, chilly overnight lows drop into the 30s. Beautiful day tomorrow, partly, mostly sunny skies. Temperatures climb into the mid-60s. Tomorrow night, skies remain clear. We won't be quite as cold. We'll drop down into the upper 30s. So I think frost will be limited. And then Friday looks beautiful. Looks nice and warm. Temperatures in the 70s are an excellent night weather-wise for high school football. It's been a great season weather-wise, and that looks to continue. Patchy frost tonight down to 33. Tomorrow, sunshine, a high of 65. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Beautiful weather here heading into the end of the week. It warms up, temperatures in the upper 70s Saturday, low 80s Sunday and Monday, and then some rain chances ahead Tuesday and Wednesday. You know where I'm going.
Hiking.
I'm going to go out and look at the northern lights.
Oh, I thought you meant because of the next 5 days are beautiful. No.
I'll be looking for those too over the next couple of nights. We'll see.
I've got to stop talking so you can get out there.
All right,
Go, Bill, go. Coming up.